faith and fear, you have to be careful, because if you don't understand how they coincide, you can be running to God in fear, but think you're in faith. You know, you have to really, really be careful about that. Go to Hebrews chapter 11 and 1. Hebrews 11. Hebrews 11 and 1. The Bible reads, now faith is the substance of things what? Hoped for, the evidence of things what? Not seen. So faith is substance. It is substance. It is our substance. In other words, until you can see it and understand it, or until you can see it, it is the substance. It is what holds things together. Okay? Now, it is not this pie in the sky thing that some people think. Faith is in the spirit realm and is just as real as the seats that we're sitting on. And you have to understand that everything that we do is based off of faith. And you all remember the example that I always use. That chair that you're sitting in, you trust that chair. You trust that chair so much until you're sitting in a way that if that chair collapses, you're going to be hurt. Amen. Now that chair fall, your eyes will get this big. You know, it's gonna get real big while you're on your way to the floor. And if you are anything like me, you're gonna fight it with everything you got. You're gonna grab stuff, and grab people, and everything else to try and keep you from falling. Why? Why? Because your faith is not founded, or the substance of what you're sitting on has proven to not be steady. You understand what I'm talking about? So faith is the substance of things hoped for. And in the spirit realm, what we believe, and we learn to see it in the spirit realm first before we see things in the natural realm. And see, this is something that we as a church have got to start understanding and knowing, because God, the spirit realm is so infinitely more powerful than the natural realm. The spirit realm is so infinitely more powerful than the natural realm. It is infinite. There are things that you can do in the spirit realm that you can't do in the natural realm. And so it's a wonder why a lot of us as saints don't spend more time in prayer in the spirit realm. Because the spirit realm, believe it or not, is where everything begins. You understand? That idea, we talked about it Sunday a little bit, even the words, but the idea that, and I'm using the example of the chair again, the idea of the chair that we're sitting on came in somebody's mind first. It was in the spirit realm first. The design of it was in the spirit realm first. The person took a piece of paper and they drew the chair, the design of the chair. They drew that chair. They literally took it out of the spirit realm and began to bring it into the natural realm piece by piece. So what they do, they drew the picture of it. Now why do draftsmen and engineers spend so much money on plans? Because it's beginning to take things out of the spirit realm and bring it into the natural realm. One of the things that I wish I could draw, and I know there are programs, the CAD program, and a few other ones that I don't remember offhand, escapes me, that help draw buildings or plans. You know, the plans that we had for the temple cost $30,000. I'm not talking about the building, I'm talking about the plans for it, the drawings. You know, and we got a great deal on it, but okay, if plans cost $30,000, why would you pay $30,000 if it wasn't important? You understand what I mean? So before they could even build a building, they have to have plans. And those plans, those drawings, literally are nothing but where the engineer has taken it out of the spirit realm of his mind and he's placed it on paper. You understand? You understand? And so this is why when it comes to visions and things like that, the Bible says, write the vision to make it what?
Right.
Plain. Amen. And this is why you find out that a lot of very successful people, what they do is they sit down with a piece of paper and tablet and they begin to scribble down things. They begin to scribble down plans and everything, because they take it from their mind, which is the spirit realm, and they put it on paper. It is one of the first steps in order to bring things to pass. You understand what I'm talking about? Now, this is also where a lot of us fail also too, because a lot of times we don't get into the habit of writing things down, so we end up forgetting what God has given us in the beginning. Okay? Go over to Hosea. Let's see here. Chapter, let's see. I'm sorry, Habakkuk chapter 2. Look at this. Habakkuk chapter 2. Start at verse 1. Right? Got it? And he says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Now, he said, I'm watching. I'm standing in a position so I can see. I'm standing in a position so I can see. I'm watching. I'm standing there. I'm watching. I'm watching. And I'm standing there. I'm waiting on God to give me something. And he's waiting on something to come out of the spirit realm. So he then says, I'm going to see what, and I love what he says, verse 1 again. He said, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the towers, and will watch to see what he will say unto me. Well, wait a minute. You can't watch words. You have to hear words. Okay? All right? You cannot watch words. You're not watching me. You're not watching the words that are coming out of my mouth. You're hearing the words come out of my mouth. Huh? Well, why is Habakkuk speaking like this? Why is Habakkuk speaking? I'm going to watch. He says, I'm going to watch. He said, I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Well, he tell you verse 2 why he's watching. He said, the Lord answered me and said, write the what? Vision. He's telling me what to do. So the vision has to be written down. It is one of the first stages of bringing things out of the spirit realm. One of the first stages of bringing things out of the spirit realm. I've been studying the tape. I've got a CD on studying. I've been because I wanted to do something with the kids, maybe right before school begins, or even do it throughout the school year. I want to come in and do a teaching and on study and academically. But one of the first things that, as I was going through this lesson, for our kids, the first thing that I read about was the fact of writing things down. Have a plan. Have a plan, because that is how you take things out of the spirit realm and bring it where? Into the natural realm. Exactly. So he says, write the vision and make it what? Plain. So as you write the vision, you have to write the vision like how you see it. It has to be very plain. So that when you read what you write and look at what you write, it brings what the vision is that God placed in your mind. It brings it to pass on the paper. You understand? You have to write the vision. You have to write the vision. Those of you that got bad handwriting like I do, you better type them. Write the vision. Write it. Make it plain. Okay? upon tables, that he may what? Run, that what? Read it. So when you read it, the reading of it, the seeing it on paper is putting it on paper or writing it down is the first step. Okay? Well, the first step is waiting on God to give it to you. Second step is to write it down. Okay? All right? The third step is to make sure it's plain. There's no sense in writing something down and you can't read what you've written. Or you don't understand what was written. So you have to make it plain. In other words, you have to put it in a place, in a position so that you can understand what you're looking at. You understand? Okay? Third thing is what? He says that he may what? Run that readeth it. So the next thing now is the next step of bringing it from the paper into reality. Okay? Right now, this is very, very important because this is how businesses get started. This is how buildings get built. Anything and everything in this realm, in this natural realm, begins this way. God has set this in place. This is how visions come to pass. You understand? You understand? You want to run a business someday? You want to own a business someday? You know what I'm saying? They say, yeah, I want to own a business someday. Write it down. Figure out on paper how it's going to come to pass. And then if you have it, write it plainly, then you start running. You start doing those things that you said that you know you need to do to bring that to pass. Guess what? And that's very, very spiritual. That's very, very spiritual. In business, I found out that businessmen, believe it or not, have more faith or exercise faith more than some of us do. Amen. Amen. Because the owner of your company, believe it or not, he's trusting in a higher power, even himself, to bring things to pass. You as an employee are trusting him to pay you a check for your work. Okay? Now you got laws and everything else to say that you're going to get paid X amount of dollars for the work that you do. Yeah, you got to have some faith too, because you got to believe that he's going to pay you. You know, but he has to exercise a greater faith because he's got to believe that what he is doing is not only going to bring enough to bring money in, but he's got to bring enough money in to pay the light bill, the water bill, the rent. You understand what I mean? Then he's got to pay you. And then after he pays you, then he has to pay himself. So his faith has to be greater than your faith or our faith as an employee. You understand what we're talking about? You understand what we're talking about? Okay? All right? So this is why you have to understand how this thing works and when it works. So the Lord told him, he said, and he told him in verse 3, he says, for the visions yet for what? At a point in time. In other words, this is not for right now. And visions and faith is not right now. That's why faith is a substance of things what? Hoped for. In other words, it ain't here yet. Okay? All right? And we have to stop wishing, you know, I just wish it was here. I wish, you know what? I wish I was rich. I wish I was this. I wish I... Well, you're not ready for it now. Because the process to bring it to pass, glory hallelujah, you've not even fulfilled that yet. You understand? And when you write the vision plainly, what you're writing down is how to bring that thing to pass. You understand what we're talking about? Yes, ma'am.
So since you say faith is something that you hope for, can you say I hope?
I hope.
I wish?
I mean, well, this hope is, and you can say that, but you have to understand what hope is in our vernacular. Now, in our speech, hope means I wish this would happen. Scripturally, in the Greek, when he says hope for, in other words, I'm waiting for it. I'm working towards it. I know it's coming. Okay? So this hope means, in essence, is different than what our mindset for hope is. Okay? You know, I mean, I can say for a moment, I hope, man, I can get up enough money to pay the light bill. You know? But that speaking of hope is not the biblical hope. The biblical hope is, you know what, I'm going out, find me a job, mow me a lawn. I'm going to find something to do so I can pay his light bill. You understand what I mean? That's the biblical hope, because you go through all the steps needed in order to bring something to pass so you can take care of a need. Yes, ma'am. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yes.
So we often not only have belief, but we have faith.
Uh-huh. Well,
We need to submit ourselves to the Lord.
uh-huh.
Faith and belief, He's just saying hope.
Uh-huh.
She's saying wish, a hope, believe, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Then you bring it out of the supernatural into the natural.
Uh-huh.
Because your belief said without faith, it's impossible to please Him.
Exactly.
So in order for us to believe, we have to receive it.
Uh-huh.
Because God said He looks at the heart, not at the outward man,
Uh-huh.
but the heart. So He's looking at the heart to test you to see, do you believe what you have said,
Mhm.
or what you're hoping for?
Uh-huh.
To come to pass.
Well,
Because
that,
I've seen God move because I believe
uh-huh.
strong. Then there's other things that makes me believe it doesn't come.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is why you have to look. You have to systematically bring things into existence. For instance, God, from the foundation of the world, when Eve ate of the forbidden fruit, He had already made a way for us to come to Him. Okay? But He did not jump down and put on flesh and come down immediately after she ate of the forbidden fruit. Because there was a process. There was a process to bring, exactly, a process to bring that to pass. As a matter of fact, one of the first things that you read in Matthew chapter 1, and this is something that most of us probably just glance over because it's so boring. I think it's very exciting. Okay? But one of the first things that in Matthew chapter 1, verse 1, the book of the generations of Jesus Christ, the son of David and the son of Abraham. I think that it's I thought it was boring until I began to really sit down and study it. Because what the Lord did in Matthew chapter 1, all of the begats, is He showed the process of how He came. He showed all the bloodlines and everything. He showed the full process of how He came. All right? Because go over to Genesis chapter, the minute that Eve ate of the forbidden fruit, the Lord started prophesying about His coming. Okay? Genesis chapter 3 and 15. Right after she ate of the forbidden fruit, the Lord started prophesying His coming. Look what He says here. And I will put enmity between thee and the what? The woman. So in between thy seed and what? Wait a minute, what woman has a seed? The woman does not have a seed. The man has the seed. All right? Now, to prove to you that He was talking about His coming, Jesus is the only one that was born without a natural man. You understand what we're talking about? He was the only one born without a natural man. So when Eve sinned, and Adam sinned, the Lord started speaking Himself to existence. He started speaking it. He started bringing it down. And He started recording. He started having record how He was going to come and the way He was going to come. So even though it was faith and belief and everything else, even Jesus, who is God in the flesh, came the same way. Same way He told Habakkuk. Same way He told Habakkuk to bring things to pass. The same thing that God Himself began to do. You understand? You understand? Somebody had to hear that. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I was just going to say that, in a little what she was saying and about the hope, and it's